Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Daily News Editorial. In this channel, we regularly cover editorial page section of newspapers. In today's video, I will be covering the Hindu newspaper editorial page article dated 20th of August, that's today. So let's begin. The Abraham Accords as India's West Asia bridge. The signing of the accord has helped remove strategic obstacles for New Delhi and aided defense cooperation. The recent visit by the Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal R.K. Bhaduria, to Israel offers a window to study how New Delhi is taking advantage of the Abraham Accords deal signed between Israel and a consortium of Arab states led by the United States Emirate in 2020. According to reports, an Indian contingent of the Indian Air Force will now visit Israel in October to take part in multilateral military exercise. Deepening cooperation. In the same week as ACM stands for Air Chief Marshal. In this in the same week as ACM Bhaduria's visit, India also conducted a Jihad Talwar naval exercises with the UAE off the coast of Abu Dhabi, further deepening the fast developing strategic cooperation between the two countries. In December 2020, Indian Army Chief General M.M. Naravane visited the UAE and Saudi Arabia, becoming the first chief of the Indian Army to do so. The foundation of these visits was set by the now former Chief of the Indian Navy, Admiral Sunil Lanba, in 2017, who visited the UAE and Oman and later being home of Dukh Port, where New Delhi signed a deal with Muscat for access to the facility, including dry dock use of the Indian Navy. The above examples show the pacey developments on the defense front between India and the West Asian region. The signing of the accords has removed a significant strategic obstacles for New Delhi, that of a trapeze wire delicate balancing act India has had to play out between the Arab Gulf and Israel over the decades. This status quo is now witnessing a change, with Israel inaugurating its first diplomatic mission in Abu Dhabi and direct flights. Business and tourism picking up between the two countries over the past few months. New Delhi had welcomed the accord, highlighting its support for mechanisms that offer peace and stability in the region. The thread. India's trajectory towards an increased strategic footprint in West Asia has been in development for some time now. Starting from the relatively low key staging visit to Saudi Arabia conducted air, by, by the IAF in 2015 to hosting visiting Iranian naval warship in 2018. Defense of the critical waterways in and around the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, and the extended Indian Ocean region has taken a driving seat in Indian strategic thinking. Recently, as tensions between Iran, Israel, and United States flared up in the Persian Gulf, the Indian Navy orchestrated Operation Sankalp, which saw Indian warship escort on an average 16 Indian flagged vessels a day. This comes as a covert attack on merchant vessels in the region expand, with tensions between Iran and Israel spilling across the region. Till, till a certain extent, the accords, from the UAE's perspective, were to make sure the Emirates, along with its international centers of trade such as Dubai and Abu Dhabi, do not become targets between Jerusalem and Tehran. However, not all Arab states have been on board with the geopolitical shifts the accords have pushed through. Despite a lot of efforts from Israel, under the new former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Saudi Arabia has maintained a distance from this agreement. More recently, Riyadh has praised the accord but said the resolution of the Palestinian state remains at the forefront of its requirements. It is imperative to remember here that despite India's rare but arguable successes in an non alignment approach in West Asia, it has taken one sided decisions in the past, such as training Iraqi Air Force cadets on MiG aircraft in Tikrit between 1958 and 1989, while also maintaining good relations with former President Saddam Hussein, seen as a critical part of India's energy security thinking. The rationale behind such thinking back then was not changed even in 2021, as India still imports more than 80% of its annual oil requirements, much of which still comes from suppliers such as Iraq and Saudi Arabia. The Iran link. Iran, as part of India's West Asia construct, will also play a significant part in India's outreach in the months to come as the crisis in Afghanistan deepens. The fact that New Delhi used Iranian airspace and facilities when evacuating its diplomatic staff from Kandahar in July showcases a level of strategic commonality, interest, and play on certain issues in the region. Keeping this in mind, connectivity projects such as Chabar Port and Chabar Jadin Rail project discussions are still on, amongst others remain critical. Recent multiple visits by India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, followed by Iranian Defense Minister Brigadier General Amir Hatami's visit to India, highlights a revitalized strategic cooperation between the two countries despite multiple obstacles in the bilateral relations, led by the US sanctions against Tehran and the general tensions between Israel, the Gulf, and Iran via proxy battles in theaters such as Yemen, Syria, and beyond. India's strategic play in West Asia will be reflective of its economic growth and, by association, an increasingly important place in the global order. From the UN Security Council to India to Indo Pacific, New Delhi will be expected to be more assertive diplomatically and militarily in its posturing and set the clocks of its foreign and strategic policies being conducted from a stage balanced on a fence. Kabir Taneja is Fellow, Strategic Studies Program, Observer Research Foundation. That's end of this article. If you like my video, please subscribe, like and comment. Thank you.